basic lick is, you know, you see a lot of guys will play it like this. And, you know, that sounds pretty good, especially that part. That part's right on the money. But the trick to this song, and probably a lot of you guys already know this, is that open D. Okay, we got to play that open D in there. So we got the D on the 5th fret of the A string and the open D. When we hit that on the 5th fret, you just want to give it a bit of a hook, right? So, you know, just a little bit. So you get a little bit of a wobble there. Okay? When you pick that, you know, we're used to picking across the strings, right? Across. But you want to avoid hitting that open G. So you don't want to get... You don't want to hit that, okay? And if you listen to the original recording, I marked it down at 54 seconds and again at 3 minutes and 23 seconds. He does that. He hits that G. You can hear that in there, okay? So it's not like, you know, it's the worst thing you could ever do. A lot of Page's stuff, there's mistakes. You know, all credit to him. He goes more for feel than for perfection, right? I don't think the mistakes really hurt this song too much. You know, we don't want to hit that G, but if you hit it, big deal, right? How we go about avoiding that is when we hit those the A string and the D string, we want to kind of flick them up, you know, like kind of go in a bit of a like an up circle with your pick. So instead of going across, where you might hit that G, if you go in a circle, not really a circle, it's like a part of a circle, right? We're just kind of going up. Okay, so just try that, right? Just a little flick of your wrist to avoid that G string, okay? And that is the secret of that lick, is to get that open D and push that A string a little bit. Okay, and then we got the chorus. And that's just a... right? Okay. And other than that, that's pretty well all there is to that, except in the end. And a lot of guys probably think I made a mistake in that beginning part, because what he does, he adds this little third thing in. So he goes... But the first time, he goes there, he goes on that G. And who knows whether that was a mistake or not. I kind of think it was. But that's the way he does it on the first one. Back to the regular one. And then he does the major third there, right? And they just alternate. I think they just alternate to the end. Okay, so that's pretty well for the rhythm. You see him play it nowadays and he's like... You know, that kind of up and down thing. And, you know, whatever, that'll work. But I don't really think you're going to get the intensity unless you go all downstrokes on this. Okay? You know, if you go... It's definitely easier to play, but I don't think you get that the real bang in there, you know, the real drive without the downstroke. And in the very beginning, it's a little subtle thing. Like what I hear is I hear this. know, that double on that E. You know, it's a little thing. It just sort of adds to the authenticity of it, right? Just that one other part where it's just just E, A power chords, right? Just before they go into the ending. Okay, so that's pretty well it for the rhythm. Hope you get something out of this. We'll see you next time.